Welcome to Hotline TV. What is going on in that West Wing of ours?
It's not ours, actually.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us. You can learn more about America's natural resources at nma.org, the National Mining Association.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Chuck Todd.
And I'm John Mercurio.
It seems as if the White House is having all sorts of internal problems. They've got this Scooter Libby trial where apparently he's going to blame Karl Rove for all his problems. We got Dick Cheney just snapping at another Wolf Blitzer interview. John, it makes me feel like the 90s. Like this is the Clinton, the Clinton White House is back.
Dogs.
The soap opera of White House West Wing is suddenly on the front pages of Washington's newspaper.
What I think is interesting, you know, this little plot line has been developing for a while, for a little more than a year now, this sort of fighting inside the White House, but we haven't seen it actually documented in a court of law until the Scooter Libby trial.
We're getting that part of it, and then you have this whole other. I mean, it is fascinating because you know the first 5 years of this administration, man, they didn't leak.
Right.
They were always spoke in unison. You didn't think there was any light between Bush and Cheney. You didn't look like Rove and Cheney got along. Rove and Scooter got along. That they were just a dynamic team. Andy Card kept it all rolling. It was a smooth operation. And then
the second term came around. As soon as they won a second term, as soon as Karl Rove delivered for George Bush a second term in office, something his father had never been able to get, I think what you saw is they said, all right, thanks. We've sort of, our time
for
together
9 months, and then
has been wonderful, and now it's...
I mean, it's all started with Katrina, but it's not only has the public's confidence unraveled, and then Iraq and all this stuff, and those are the obvious issues,
right.
But it's now this White House, and if they start turning on each other, then there's no way they can recover.
Yeah, and what
politically they're going to become paralyzed if they're not careful.
The other thing that's really interesting, and it's coming out in the Libby trial. I think MSNBC, David Schuster's been doing a lot of good reporting on this. Made a really good point about how this trial and what it says about Libby and the way that he operated in the White House and the way that Cheney operated in the West Wing really illustrates and underscores the little personal fiefdom that the Cheney world occupied in the White House. Really the power structure, and we've all known this. This is all.
We thought it, and we actually always wanted it.
But it's being documented in the court, which is very interesting.
It is interesting. The White House always seemed to do a good job of making it seem like Bush and Cheney were one.
Right.
But to think now we're learning that going back to the Meet the Press interview Dick Cheney did right after September 11th, that there has been this tension between Rove and Cheney, and the people that protect Bush versus the people that protect Cheney, and that it is two distinct worlds. What's funny is this is normal for most White Houses. This just wasn't normal. We didn't think this was the normal for this White House. It just shows you that even they're susceptible to it.
Indeed,
it's a big problem.
It is a very big problem, and that'll do it for us today. Thank you for joining us on Hotline TV.
He's John Mercurio. I'm going to stay Chuck Todd. We'll see you next time on Hotline TV.